Welcome in. What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of Behind the Beatdown. I'm David Hayes, along with Rob Moriarty and JD Muzinski. We are here to wrap up some fighter of the or some year end of the year awards. More than just fighter of the year. How we doing today, Rob? Beautiful day here in Panama City, Florida.
Doing well. How about yourself?
Man, I am doing great, JD. As soon as I look over to Ash JD, how he's doing, he is guzzling down a little bit of that good old H2O right there. Yeah, so got a lot of awards here, 17, I think, to be exact. We've got the fans vote. The fans came in and voted on a lot of these awards, and then we have the official end of the year awards as well. So let's start here with our grappler of the year. So for fan favorite, grappler of the year is going to be Priam Schaefer or Caden Millender. And the fans went with Caden Millender at number 2. And coming in at number 1, grappler of the year is going to be Priam Schaefer. Congratulations to Priam.
Yep.
We'll dive in here to the official side. Do we want to go all the way through the fan favorites, or do we want to go back and forth with the officials?
Let's do them one by one.
One by one. So it came down to Caden Millender and Priam Schaefer. JD or Rob, who wants to lead us off here? Giving us your thoughts. We'll go over to Rob. JD don't want to say a word this morning. Rob, give us your thoughts here. Break down both of these grapplers and tell us who your pick for grappler of the year was.
So I'll start out by saying that the fan favorites were voted on an online poll through Google. So that's where those stats come from. Each category is going to have a winner there, and that was accumulated over about the past 3 weeks through our online forums. So that's kind of cool because you get to see who the fans are rooting for.
And also that kind of helps going into the year, right? To know for JD, like who are the people excited to see, right?
100%.
Yes,
100%.
sir.
So, the fans voted for Priam to be first and Caden to be second. And this is one of the ones that I actually had the same. A lot of these aren't going to be the same with our official winners and the fan favorites, but on that one, I actually had it the same. I gave Priam the nod on that because he had 3 subs. He also won one Event of the Night award for sub, and Caden had 1 win and also won one Event of the Night award for sub of the night as well. So, Caden did great, but I think Priam was just a little bit more active, had more stats to go.
Yeah, when it comes to my pick in these awards, with I started, I think, in August, so the last 3 fights of the year. I went to more of the others, but there's a different lens when you're looking through. I'm gonna have a little biased in the sense of the guys who I was watching at the end of the year. So I had Priam Schaefer as well, and the kid's just electric. I mean, he moves around like an electric eel in the octagon, and he's just absolutely impressive. So congratulations to Caden Millender. But yeah, Priam Schaefer as the grappler of the year for me as well. And JD, your thoughts here on the young grapplers?
Yeah, I had Priam as well. It's kind of hard to knock him down from there because he's just so active. Like I said, Caden did really well as well, and the future is bright for him. He's brand new, so you could maybe see him maybe winning this maybe winning this upcoming year. You never know. So
hey, there you go.
Priam too.
So, Grappler of the Year goes to Priam Schaefer. Our next award is going to be the Upset of the Year. And we've got 2 contestants here. For the fan favorite, coming in number 2, it was Howard versus Reddish. And finishing number 1, I think most of us would agree. I can't wait to see what Rob and JD have as the official a winner here for Upset of the Year. But Nate Altland and Swinney there. Oh, man, the fans have Altland and Swinney as the upset of the year. Rob, lead us off here. What do you think? Who was your upset of the year?
So we had it the same, Altland and Swinney, and then Howard and Reddish. Howard and Reddish was a great one because those guys. It was a kickboxing match, and Howard come in debut, very minimal training, I believe. And then Reddish comes from a good gym in Train Fight Week. So in that respect, it was a big upset in the way that it went because of the gyms and the amount of experience for the fighters.
Yeah.
But then you got to give it to Altland and Swinney because Swinney with a great record, Altland with a lot of experience, but not necessarily the best record. Two fan favorites of the area, a lot of hype around the fight, and then just the dramatic fashion that it ended
Yeah.
in. Howard and Reddish was a decision, I believe, and Olin and Swinney was a dramatic knockout. So, like, upset of the year, if you count the records, the legitimacy of the fighters in the gyms, and then take in the dramatic effect of that huge knockout, you got to give it to Olin and Swinney.
And just the local buildup around that fight as well. Both guys on social media kind of building it up and the storyline leading up to it. Swinney dropping a lot of weight for that fight as well. Was that going to be a factor? And I think everyone and their mama counted out Nate in that fight. And what was it? Just a couple of seconds, all of us were standing up with our hands over or on top of our head, like, oh my goodness, what just happened? JD, what's your thoughts here on upset of the year?
Yeah, I actually had it the other way. I had it with Howard and Reddish, just because Howard was basically brand new and Reddish was out of train fight win. And we already know, everyone out of train fight win, even the debuts come in and they look really polished. They don't allow their fighters to just go out there and just start competing. They make sure that, they are properly trained and ready to go. A little backstory on it, Peter Zahel, which is David Howard's coach, even said, he highly doubted that his guy was going to be able to take that win in that fight, just because of the reputation that Train Fight Win has. But they took it anyways because they wanted the experience, and I felt that they went ahead and pulled it out. So
I gotta go with Altland in this one.
yeah,
One, not only just witnessing that, but two, witnessing previous fights of Altland and some of the fast knockouts. Now the guys that he got into the ring with, I mean, the stones that you gotta have to get into the octagon with them in the first place. But yeah, so I've seen some terrible things happen to Nate, but then to bounce back and that happen and everyone be thinking against you, that's where my vote would go. So fan favorite is going to be Altland and Swinney, and then official is Altland and Swinney as well.
Correct.
JD, you're the odd man
hey,
out
that's
there.
okay.
That's how it
I have a
goes
different
sometimes.
perspective.
There you go. We'll go to the breakout performance of the year up next. And according to the fans, they had four finalists here for breakout performance of the year. It was Hernandez and Connolly. Hernandez finds himself on this list twice as number 3, Hernandez and Thornton. Number 2 is going to be Schaefer and Hughes. That was a heck of a fight. And then last but not least, Fichtner versus Hansley. Of course, it's not last but least because they're first here. Fichtner and Hansley for breakout performance of the year, according to the fans. And Rob, what say you on the official end of the year award side of things?
So on the official side, I had Hernandez and Connolly as
All
the
right.
first one. Coming in second would be Priam and Aiden, and then third would be Maya, and then fourth would be Hernandez and Thornton. Not to give any shade to the Hernandez and Thornton fight because it was a great fight, 3 rounder, two great fighters. Went to decision, but I think like from a breakout perspective, just something that was like shock and awe. This fighter turned a corner, just absolutely broke out, literally, for lack of a better word. Hernandez and Connolly, this huge knockout in what was considered an interim belt match, I believe. And Connolly having a great record. Hernandez having average record, but fighting tough opponents. So, when you take all those things into account, I think just the dramatic effect and the knockout and the amount of breakout, quote unquote, I would say Hernandez and Connolly.
Hey, when the drama is heightened, that is when things get exciting. What do you say, JD?
I felt it was Schaefer and Hughes, just because I think Aiden had fought somewhere else before, but he had never fought here before. And with the talent that Priam brings to the ground, and then also with the talent that Hughes brought with his hands,
Yeah.
I felt between the two of them, both being in, Priam really had someone that could roll with him, and then also he had someone that could put his hands on him too. I just felt that between those two clashes coming together, that it was the best. But also Hernandez and Conley was really good too. That was also Kobe Conley's first time at 45. So I think maybe a little bit of the weight cut for the first time maybe played a part in that happening the way it did. But maybe we can work on that for February. So that's what we're trying to do. So
Oh, have we announced the date, right? February
February
21st.
21st. Yeah, it's not
Yes,
official
sir.
yet, but we're working on it. So
All
I would
right.
like to see that again. So
Yeah, I really liked the Aiden Hughes and Preem Schaefer fight, and I think that was some of the insight that you provided along the way. Like we know where Preem is
mhm.
grappling wise, but what does he do when he gets hit in the mouth, right? And I think he answered that bell well. So that would be my vote as well. But we got fan favorite being Fickner and Hansley, and then the official again, Rob.
Hernandez Connolly, but I'm going to put it out there that Priam and Aiden was a close second.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys had it that way, and I almost had it that way. You just got to look at the skill of both those guys.
yeah,
And, Priam transitioning to the MMA world rather than just the grappling world against a tough opponent like that and showing a lot of heart. And, you know, putting it out there, he didn't get the sub right away.
yeah.
There was a lot of subs that he didn't secure, and then to go that distance, take the shots that he took, and then show a lot of heart and finish it. I think that was a real close second. So give the credit where the credit's due.
Credit where credit as due, as we'll give credit next to the breakout fighter of the year. According to the fan favorite, starting at 6, it was Lucas Gideon coming in at number 5, Blake Cunningham. At number 4, we had Cohen Bain. At number 3, Maya Fickner. Number tied for 1 here. Tied for first, I'm assuming. We'll have Priam Schaefer and Scott Hernandez for breakout fighter. That is according to the fans for the official vote of the year. Rob, what do you have for breakout fighter?
Man, this is pretty close to what I had. One, I had Scott Hernandez. Two, I had Priam. Three, I put Cohen Bain. Four, I put Maya. Five, I had Cunningham, and six was Gideon. So very close to what the fans had, just switching Cohen and Maya. Um, I gave a lot of value to the fact that Scott was in belt matches. He was
Yep.
fighting contenders. Priam had a great resume. A lot of the wins, the kickboxing win, the one kickboxing loss. He had two event of the night awards. Scott had one. But I got to give credit to the difficulty of the opponents that Scott
Yep.
faced. Um,
It's like high school football, JD. You got to have a tough schedule to get the right rankings.
so I mean, it could have been close. I mean, Cohen Bain absolutely came out and had a war in his fight. You got to give credit there, and he wasn't fighting a bum either.
Yeah.
He was fighting a good competitor from a good gym. So like, there's a lot of factors that go into this. But for me, I gave a little bit of extra weight to the difficulty of Scott's opponents.
JD, your thoughts?
yeah, I agree with that. Scott's been around for a while. Scott also will fight basically anybody. I don't really recall him ever saying, I don't want to fight him. And up until this point, he's been good. Up until this year, maybe when probably I don't have his record in front of me, but maybe like a 3-3, 4-3 type guy, 3-4, somewhere in there. He's been solid and durable and took tough fights. But this year, you could really tell that he turned a corner. Whatever he's doing, I know he's over there at Emerald Coast with Thor, and I think he's doing some wrestling and stuff up there. I think with Assassins with Cam.
Yep.
So I don't know, what all he changed this year, but you could tell that he was different this year, and to me, that's what a breakout fighter does. It's not someone that's just average or has one or two good ones. His whole year was a big difference between what he had shown in the past, and I felt that he just turned a corner. So
I don't think it was a flash of greatness. It was
it
consistently.
was consistency.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It wasn't just like one or two fights. Like, oh, he had a great one. No, he looked really good in every fight, and super proud of him. So
Hey, there you go. So, breakout fighter of the year for the fans was Scott Hernandez, and for the official was Scott Scott Hernandez, right? Yeah, absolutely. So moving on next to bouncing back between these lists here, trying to make sure I'm on the right number. We're going to boxing knockout of the year. According to the fans, coming in second, the Sinister Clown was in both of these. Boxing knockout of the year, Moses Sanders and Ray comes in second place. In first place, it was Sanders taking down Johnson. Rob is the official end of the year award for boxing knockout of the year, agreeing with the fan favorite. What say you?
No, we had them swapped.
Oh, tell us why.
So they were both great knockouts. They were very dramatic. To see Moses get a win in that fashion is always a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And but with the controversy around the legitimacy of the body shot, and could it have been a DQ? Could it have been a no contest? Could it have been attributed to the other fighter moving? There's actually a lot of comments out there on
I've
Facebook.
I've seen that.
Over
Some of the
the-
names that have popped up throughout the recording of this. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen their comments
And
as
I
well.
want to make a clarification. One of our graphics, people accidentally put a liver shot on the graphic.
Yeah.
That's on the wrong side of the body.
Yeah,
That's not true.
that was it. Was what spleen, right?
Yeah. So it was like that was an error on our graphics team. But
Not me. Not
Not-
that
not
wasn't
me.
JD. No.
How far behind the scenes do we want to go with this? Whose fault was it? No, just
Uh,
kidding.
But with the controversy around it, I mean, it's still a great fight.
Yeah,
A great KO. But with the controversy around it, I think you got to go the opposite way and give it to the Jackson Ray Moses one, and then second would be Moses and Josh.
JD.
that's okay. I'm okay with that. I think the Johnson one was better, and he did contribute to it. So, but that's fine. I mean, either way, it was going to be Moses. So-
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, the winner of the award will still be winning the award. But which knockout did you like better? So the controversy comes from the latest bout of Sanders, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So and that one, I mean, that the way that fight was going. Obviously, both of the last two matches or bouts for Moses Sanders, where the guys came out on fire, and then Moses Sanders kind of settled in and took care of business. But he was lightning quick with that last one, so much so that I had looked at Aubrey for something he was saying, and by the time that I looked back, Johnson was down on the ground. So I'm, but the controversy, just seeing some of the things that said there they know more about the sport than what I do, so I'll have to rely on that. I'll agree with you, Rob. I think that it'll be the Sanders versus Ray, right?
And then for some clarification for people on the comments, the sanctioning body, Larry Downs actually went in and commented and said that the KO stands because the fighter could continue,
Mm-hmm.
but the fighter attributed to the body shot being landed where it was. So it's not a DQ, it's not a no contest. It was fighter couldn't continue due to the body shot that was attributed to the action of the fighter that got hit. So that's why it stands the way it does, according to our sanctioning body.
So put that on an acronym, why don't you? Fighter, we could not. Yeah. So there you go. But fan favorite for Boxer KO with Sanders Johnson. Official award is going to be Sanders and Ray as we move to the Boxer of the Year. That's pretty much open and shut case, right? Moses Sanders, Boxer of the Year. JD or Rob, JD, y'all want to give any extra thoughts on Moses for Boxer of the Year?
Far and away, best boxer we've had in there. So it's an easy choice to have. In a year that we didn't have necessarily a whole lot of boxing matches
Yeah.
on our cards. So it's pretty clean and cut. So.
And nothing
Ditto.
to add. We'll go to fastest knockout. This is going to be Harrell or Johnson or Altland and Swinney. And the fan favorite in number 2. They put Altland and Swinney, meaning the winner for fastest KO, according to the fans, is going to be Harrell and Johnson. What do we have, Rob, for the official award for the fastest knockout?
Had it the opposite way because I mean it's really just based upon time.
Yeah, I was about to say this one seems like it should come down to a number here, but I guess when the fans get to vote, they get to.
So I mean, if you look at the footage of it, that spinning back fist was just so fast.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of dancing before it happened in the fight. So I believe on the actual counter on the clock, Olin and Swinney they said was faster.
Okay.
But speed of the knockout,
Yeah.
I mean that's very dramatic and
Yeah.
has its own effect as well. And then so both are great, but I think on a time clock, Olin and Swinney wins.
I mean, what can you say? I mean, if it's the time, it's the time. I liked the Harrow one better.
Yeah.
Tyler Harrow, personally. Also, I think that was like a starch knockout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Sweeney, I mean, he was out, but he was kind of like coming back.
Yeah. There was, I think that there
But that
was
would be
a division on should have the fight kept going or not with the Swinney Altland.
right
Yeah.
afterwards. But I mean, that would be a conversation for knockout of the year, not fastest. So if it was the fastest, then it was the fastest. They were both great, though.
You got to give both credit though.
Both, hey, credit where credit is due. You guys are making an impact along the way. As we move to the youth knockout TKO of the year, only one nominee for this one, and according to the fans, it was Zarate and Breen. Zarate knocking out Breen for the youth KO TKO. Rob, tell us a little bit more about this.
So that one's pretty easy. We've only had a few youth matches throughout the year, and that was the only one that had a finish. So it wins by default. But still, got to give the credit to Zarate for finishing the fight. Gabe Breen's been in a bunch of youth fights throughout his years with us. So he went in there against an opponent that has a lot of experience for a youth fighter and got the job done. So got to give credit where credit's due on that one.
JD, any additional thoughts?
I like it.
We will move to the youth submission, a fan favorites of the year. Also, only one submission here. For pun intended there. We've got Augusto and submitting Thompson. Augusto submitting Thompson for youth sub of the year. Rob, what else you got on this?
Same thing, wins by default. It was the only real sub that we had in a youth matchup, I believe. Thompson had fought for us twice. This was the second time. Augusto was a debut. So the debut came in and got it done against a kid with one more fight experience. They both come from legitimate gyms. So, got to give credit to that because he got the job done.
Getting the job done. Any additional thoughts, JD?
I agree.
We'll move, we'll move to the youth fight of the year. The fan favorite had two nominees. They had Thompson and Bell finishing in second. And your youth fight of the year was Solorio versus Kidder. Rob, did y'all agree on the official awards?
In the words of JD, agree.
Agree. Keep it short and sweet, which will take us to our youth fighter of the year. The fan favorites lined up like this, coming in at number 4, Madon Kidder. Number 3 was Gail Zarate. Number 2, Bryson Thompson. And your winner for youth fighter of the year was Alex Solorio. Rob, what was the official award winner for youth fighter of the year? Or who?
So very close. I had 4 with Kidder. Third was Bryson Thompson. Second was Solorio, and first was Zarate. Uh, Solorio and Zarate was Solorio and Kidder was a war. So I mean, for fight of the year, it had to be there because those guys they just battled it out and had a lot of heart and showed everything, especially for youth fighters. But with Zarate getting a finish, got to give credit to that as well, being the only finish of the year. So I gave it to Zarate, then Solorio would be second, Bryson Thompson third, and Kidder fourth.
JD.
This is for youth fighter or fight?
Youth fighter. We just
Fighter.
did youth fight. You agreed.
No, we did youth sub, but I'm missing something. Regardless, I would have.
Did I skip over? I might have skipped over youth fight of the year.
I said agreed really quickly on
Yeah.
that, and then we kind of jumped.
Maybe I missed something. Either way, I would have went Solorio.
Solorio?
Because I mean, Zarate fought first, I think, once.
Mhm.
So I would have went Solorio. I think he fought more times. I think maybe 3 times. No, only once.
Once this year.
Really?
Yep, Solorio and Kidder.
I must have been thinking of last year. Okay, well then,
Yeah.
okay, I agree.
So Bryson Thompson had 2 fights for us this year.
All right.
He won against Bell, and then he lost against Augusto in the sub, and then the other guys all had 1 fight apiece. So yeah, if you go multiple years, Solorio's had a lot more experience for us, so I think it would go that way. But I think the difference was Solorio had fight of the year because of the war with Kidder,
Yeah.
and Zarate got fighter because of the finish.
All right. There you go. So Zarate fighter, and then fight of the year was Solorio and Kidder, just to make sure that we did hit it. Youth fight of the year, and second place was Thompson and Bell, and coming in for first place of youth fight of the year was Solorio and Kidder. Now we'll move on to coach of the year. We had 7 options here for the fan favorites. Coming in at number 7, it was Sky Rudlow. Number 6, Shane Mills. Number 5, Brad Montgomery. Number 4, Michael Bateman. Number 3, Odie Delaney. Number 2, Thor Schaefer. And the fan favorite, coach of the year, Jacob Owens. Now, this is I'm sure this was probably one of the toughest team coaches. I think that's one of the toughest to vote on. Um, Rob, what do you say here? Coach of the year.
So factors that we had for team of the year, and I think that that plays a factor as well because coaches and teams go together. Um, for our team of the year, we had 7 nominees as well. And in order to be in consideration, you had to have at least fight 8 fights with us. You couldn't come in with one fight and just kill it and then be voted for team or coach of the year. So you had to have some volume in there and the quality of what you did. So with that being a factor as to who coach of the year could be, I had it very similar. I had 7 would be Sky as well. 6, Michael Bateman. Uh, 5 would be Brad Montgomery. 4 would be Shane Mills. 3 would be Jacob Owens. 2 would be Odie. And coach of the year would be Thor. Um, Taking into consideration the amount of fights that their teams had, how they did in those fights, transitioning into what could be other parts of the sport because like Thor's gym is primarily a jiu-jitsu gym and he stepped into the world of kickboxing and MMA this year. All in one has everything. I mean, they do submission grappling for us. They do every phase. Um, so factoring in things like the performances of the fighters, the expansion of what they do, and their records and amount of awards that they won throughout the year or their fighters won, I had Thor coming in first.
JD?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is especially for the matchmaker and for the promoter right
I
here.
don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. I don't know.
Are we gonna let him get away with that, Rob?
You gotta say
And I
something.
don't know.
You got to say something.
You got to say something here. So I don't know. I'm learning more and more about the sport. So, it's a lot different for me giving a critique of a coach of football or baseball or basketball than what it is here. What I will say is just kind of from meeting some of these guys. I mean, Michael Bateman, Odie Delaney, all of them. Just the what they're leaving with their students is so impressive. But what Jacob Owens and All in One has had to deal with specifically at the end of the year, so maybe it doesn't count as much for the entire year, but losing the gym and then or I think that's what it was, right? Losing the gym or having to move to another spot. I'll go with Jacob Owens being here locally, All in One MMA. That's but my reasoning is I'm pulling at straws here. So,
There's a lot of different factors.
I'm just trying to get JD to say something other
I
than
mean,
I don't know.
I just don't want to say the wrong thing, but I mean, I would have did the same thing. I would have gave it to Jacob Owens. So
All right,
I
so
just
we've
leave it at
got the official is Thor,
Yep.
and then fan favorite is going to be Jacob Owens for coach of the year. So congratulations to those coaches for coach of the year, fan favorite Jacob Owens, and
And you got to give credit to, like you said, for Jacob Owens and All in
yeah,
One with the things that they dealt with and the transitions that they're going through, the amount of fights that they had, how active the fighters were.
right,
There's a lot of things in there that speak very highly of what they have going on. They're throughout the whole process, they're staying active. They're not just participating in fights, but they're winning fights. So, a lot of time and effort goes into that, and you got to give Jake credit for the amount of time, effort, and heart that he put into everything. So he's up there. He's in the top 3. For me, I think that the stats have to play a factor,
yeah,
not just emotions. So on my end, I have him in the top 3 for sure, but the stats have to play a factor on belts won, awards won,
yeah.
things like that. So from a impartial perspective, I got to give it to Thor. Emotionally, and the way that you want to rally behind somebody, you got to give Jake. So
Hey, look at that. We got him to expound on his answer to give even more credit to Jacob. But no, congratulations, Jacob Owens, for fan favorite coach of the year, Thor Schaefer for official coach of the year. As we move to team of the year, another tough one here. And your nominees for fan favorite coming in at number 7 was TFW. What does that stand for?
train
Train
fight.
fight win. No, I answered my own question as soon as I heard the train. 6, Cage Fit. Number 5, Witness Martial Arts. Number 4, NXG. Number 3, Fusion MMA. Number 2, Emerald Coast Jiu Jitsu. And the fan favorite team of the year, All in One MMA. Rob, give us your breakdown and who you had for official team of the year.
All right, so on this one, we used a quote unquote proprietary point system
Yeah,
that
I
we
like it.
come
The
up with.
PPS.
We can thank JD for the proprietary part. Uh, he came up with that. The point system comprised of a couple different things. In order to be considered as team, you had to have at least 8 fights with us. You got points for a win. You lost points for a loss, no matter if it was kickboxing, MMA, grappling, or boxing. So you're getting points for your wins. You're losing a quarter point for your loss. Exhibition wins get a half a point for a win and lose a quarter point for a loss. Then you got to factor in things like awards and finishes. If you won, but you got to finish, you got an extra half a point bonus. Only on sanctioned fights, not exhibition fights. You get points for event of the night awards, sub, KO, or fight of the night. You get points for end of year awards with fight, sub, KO, fighter, and then the Hall of Fame induction. We had that this year. So if you had anybody go into the Hall of Fame, you got some points for that as well. So factoring all that in and doing a analysis of the amount of points that each team won and dividing it by the amount of fights that that team had, there was an efficiency rating point. And coming in first on that would be Emerald Coast Jiu Jitsu. Coming in second would be Witness MMA. Third would be All in One. Fourth would be NXG. Fifth would be Cage Fit. Sixth would be Fusion. And seventh would be Train Fight Win. So very similar to the order that the fans voted. Close.
Yeah, I think just 1 and 2 for the most part. No, because Witness is number 5 in the
And
fan
two in
favorite. Yeah.
ours. So, you know, it was a very detailed point system that made the decisions on that. That gives credit for how active the teams are,
Yeah.
but also gives credit for how well they did. So you couldn't just be active; you had to be active and win. And if you were super active and lost a bunch of fights, you lost a quarter point for that as well. So it kind of it's a really good efficiency rating in my opinion because it factors in how active you were and how successful you were as well.
Yeah, and it gives you the weight behind it. And I think we need Rob running for CFP chairman next year so we could have, someone at the playoff committee giving us a reason for how these things play out. But yeah.
We ain't gonna go for that. We're both gonna have Bama in there. It's gonna be going for
Yeah.
Michigan.
Bama's 8-4. Number 1, Alabama's gonna be number 1. We'll see how it continues to play out. JD, any additional thoughts here with the teams of the year?
I think I need to go back and look at some of the what happened in the year because I don't remember Emerald Coast having that many fights. How many fights did they have?
Emerald Coast. Let's see. 7-6.
Do what?
Overall record 7-6. 13 fights.
13 total fights.
Okay.
You
Shout-
made them.
Shout out Emerald Coast.
You made them all.
Yeah. Shoot. Cage Fit had 15 fights. Witness had 18.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Witness.
Which direction I was gonna go because it feels like anytime there's a guy from Witness and I'd love to hear their record so it would I'll know that moving forward, but it feels like every time they've got a guy in the ring,
So I
he's
agree with
doing
some
well.
of that because, like,
Yeah.
when you just think about what you remember, there's certain teams that you're going to remember more of because they had either
Some more fight,
wins
yeah.
or really great fights that you're going to remember. But when I went back and started putting all the stats together,
Mm-hmm.
Cage Fit 9-6,
9-6.
Witness MMA 9-9,
Ooh, 500.
NXG 3-6, but 2 belts, Capshaw
Yeah.
and Amoni.
When you told me that.
So they got 2 belts in there, but only 3 wins. All in one, 18-15.
33 fights.
Train Fight Win, 8-3. Fusion, 7-4. The Cage MMA 4-7. Smart MMA 3-5. Emerald Coast Jiu Jitsu 7-6. And then a whole bunch of them that had three fights or less.
How many teams do you have right there? Because I'm thinking about conferences and divisions right now.
So on my spreadsheet here, we've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 17 teams.
There you go, man.
Out of
Look,
which
we
only
got the AFC or the NFC right
Yeah.
there.
And then there's some that aren't on here because they
Yeah,
only fought for
they
like
only fought.
once.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, I really like the aspect of looking at it from the longer that I've kind of been learning about this sport, seeing the team side of it, because it just looks like golf, like an individual sport out there, but it's so far from an individual sport.
And I mean, you just gotta look at it like event of the night awards. Cage Fit comes in with 4. Witness comes in with 3. NXG 1. All in one 6. 3 on the last event alone.
Oh,
So, got to give credit there. They basically won all that show. Fusion had none. Train Fight Win, none. Cage MMA 1. Smart MMA 1. Emerald Coast Jiu Jitsu 4. So, you got to factor in all the different things. How many times did they fight? Did they win? Did they win awards? Did they have finishes? Not finishes. Cage Fit had 4 finishes on the year. Witness had 7. And
Probably why they remember him so much. 'Cause that's what he finished so much.
yeah, all in one 8. Fusion 2. Train Fight Win 3. So I mean, Emerald Coast Jiu Jitsu 5. So these.
I love the statistical element of it, man. That right there, that is good stuff. So for team of the year, fan favorite, all in one, official was Emerald Coast Jiu Jitsu. We'll move on to knockout of the year. Fan favorites there. At number 4, they have Harrell versus Johnson. They have number 3, Chi knocking out Belmonte. Number 2, Hernandez taking down Connolly. And then the fan favorite knockout of the year was just recently at our latest event. Sanders knocking out Johnson. Rob, what is the official knockout of the year for Impact Fight League?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We just found another mistake.
Uh-oh.
Sanders and Johnson wasn't even one of the elects for knockout of the year because it was boxing knockout of the year. So that must have got
How'd
put
they do?
by accident.
How y'all did that there, chat?
So we had on the KO of the year, I put Altland and Swinney, which isn't on the fan favorite. That's where the mistake was made, as 4th. Then I had Hernandez over Connolly as 3rd. Harrell over Johnson, 2nd, and Chi Belmont 1st. Gave 1st and 2nd could have been swapped. It was so close. I think the craziness of the spinning back fist was just hype, but the knockout was so clean on Chi Belmont. He was out before he hit the ground. So it's just very clean knockout, and it was just to me that was knockout of the year.
JD, knockout of the year.
I disagree.
Okay, so and which direction do you go after your
I'm
disagreement?
going to win with Harold just because it was instantaneous, like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever it was. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Chi. Like Dirk McComas, definitely got to try and get him back down here as soon as we can. Big fan of him, but it was a slow, methodical breakdown that Chi did, and then it ended up with a really nice knockout. But I would have went Harold, not Harold, with the spinning back fist and within like 5-6 seconds.
So the official the official knockout is Harold and Johnson, right?
Chi.
Oh, you have it. Oh, okay.
Through conversation, I
Ooh.
wouldn't even be upset if we
Go?
split it. I'm not.
A KO?
They're both that good to me. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
gave a little bit more credit because of the cleanliness of the Chi, and I felt like it was methodical, like you said.
Oh, I
It
remember
was.
the Chi Belmonte, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't even be upset with splitting that one this year.
All right. So KO of the year is going to be Harold and Johnston and Chi Belmonte. And that'll take us to the submission of the year. Fan favorite submission of the year. Starting at number 4, we'll have Doe Lawson. Number 3 coming in, Beach and Morris. Number 2 was Schaefer submitting Hughes. And then number 1, Jorgensen and Stratford. Fan sub of the year was Jorgensen submitting Stratford. And Rob, take us to the official sub of the year winner.
So I went fourth would be Porter Beach. Third,
Is that his name, Porter Beach?
Hmm.
That's a
third,
heck of a name. son.
I'm going with Doe Lawson. Second, Jorgensen Stratford, and first, Priam and Aiden. Uh, the Jorgensen Stratford was a great one, but I think I gave a little bit more value to the difficulty of the opponent and how Priam had to work for that. Like, it wasn't just a crazy sub that was landed on an opponent that opened himself up. It was something that he had to work for. And so I give a little bit more credit for that factor. Um, I mean, the difficulty of all the subs, I'll let JD go into that a little bit more because he's more versed in that. So I don't know that any of the subs were just that much better than the other ones because of the difficulty of the submission. But I gave value to the difficulty of the opponent and how hard Priam had to work to get that submission against a great opponent. And you got to give Jorgensen credit too because he landed the sub.
Yeah.
But I think the opponent opened that up real easily to him.
JD, your thoughts here on sub of the year?
Yeah, I don't think there was really one that was an extremely more difficult submission, just submission by itself. I would have went the same way with Schaefer and Hughes, based upon the difficulty of the fight
Yeah.
and the opponent, and the fact that he had someone in front of him that could not only at least roll with him, but was also probably a little bit more superior with his hands. So the difficulty of the fight in the situation, I would have gave it to Schaefer as well.
All right. So Schaefer and Hughes, or Schaefer, I guess, getting the award over Hughes for submission of the year, which will take us to our second to last award here, and that is going to be Fight of the Year. For the fan favorite side of things, at number 6, they've got Montgomery and Cornut. That was a heck of a fight. Wilson and McAfee come in at number 5. Number 4 from the fan favorites for Fight of the Year was Capshaw and Nieto. Number 3, Wilson and Montgomery. Number 2, Honecker and Bain. I remember that one vividly. And then number 1, fan favorite fight of the year was Hernandez and Thornton. Rob, give us your view, your perspective here on the official side of things, as fight of the year from the fan favorites was Hernandez versus Thornton.
A little bit different on mine. At number 6, I also had Henry and Cornut. At number 5, I put Capshaw and Nieto. At number 4, I had Scott and Eddie, which is the fan favorite. Um,
Fans, y'all need to do better next year. You
number
got to get on Rob's level.
number 3 was also Colin and Montgomery. Number 2 to me was Colin and Akeem. And number 1 for me was Honecker and Bain. Uh, I went the way I did with that because some of those call-in fights were great. They go to the decision. Him and Akeem was back and forth. It was a chess match. Even somebody in the crowd, one of our celebrity guest appearances, it's like this was chess, not checkers on that fight.
Yeah.
So it was very back and forth, which made it a great fight. Um,
Was that Brock Weaver that said that?
Now Soto,
Okay.
the bare knuckle guy.
Yeah, the BKFC guy.
Um, so for me though, the thing that separated it with Honecker and Payne was not just the quality of the fight, but the back and forth of the fight. So like Akeem and Colin went back and forth, but there wasn't a whole lot of times where I thought somebody was going to quit, like and then dug in and came back. With Honecker and Bain, them guys went to war. They
Yeah.
were bloodied up. There was exchanges. There was big shots landed from both sides. There was so many times in that fight when I went back and watched it, I was like, if it weren't these two guys fighting, that fight was over.
Yeah.
A regular fighter without the heart and the skill and everything that goes into it, the fight's over a couple different times throughout that fight. So the back and forth, the blood, the war, just the determination. For me, I had to give it to Bane and Honecker.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So
100%
there,
agree.
there's no other. To me, there was no other way to go.
That's actually who I had over here as well. Honecker and Bane will go down as the official fights of the year according to the fans. Their fight of the year was Hernandez and Thornton, which will take us to our final award here of the 2025 season. And the fan favorites have number 4, Scott Hernandez, number 3, Henry Montgomery, number 2, Colin Wilson. And the fan favorite fighter of the year was Priam Schaefer, Rob Moriarty, who was the official fighter of the year.
All right, so fourth, I had Colin. Uh, Colin's held three different belts for us in three different divisions. So, I mean, guy's just a warrior. But in this year, he had three fights for us. All were title fights. He went 1-2. He defended it once. All three fights went to decision. He won two awards of the night, but with a 1-2 record, it's kind of hard to give him fighter of the year. Although all three of his fights were just their title fights.
Yeah.
He's fighting the best.
The biggest stage.
Yeah, so I mean he's up there, but with that record, I just couldn't put him higher. Henry Montgomery, number 3, 1-1 was his record. He won two awards of the night, had an all-out war and a win against Cornette, and actually lost to Colin. Um, number 2, I put Priam. 2-0 MMA record, 1-1 kickboxing record, two awards of the night. But I had to give the fighter of the year to Scott because of, once again, the difficulty of his opponents and title fight. One belt, one award of the night, and a 3-0 record, fighting good people. Uh, if Priam could have had a belt match in this year and maybe won a belt or had another difficult opponent like Aiden Hughes, I think he's right there on the cusp of it. But with the difficulty and the belt factor, I had to give it to Scott.
JD, who did you have as fight of the year, the unofficial fighter of the year? Who do you have?
I mean, you can't really go wrong with either of those two at the top. In my opinion. But simply for the fact that Scott got breakout fighter of the year, I would have went with Priam for fighter of the year. Not only just for the fact that he got breakout, that Hernandez got breakout fighter of the year, but also because Priam is not really. I don't want to say like a fighter, but like he's a ground guy. So
Yeah.
for him to transition into kickboxing and then transition into MMA from there and be successful at all levels, to me, I would have gave it to Priam. So.
All right. Well, there you have it. The official fighter of the year is going to be Scott Hernandez. And according to the fans, the fan favorite fighter of the year is going to be Priam Schaefer. So that's going to do it for all of our awards. Well, how do we want to wrap this episode up, Rob? This is something we did not talk about prior to starting the show. So we February 21st is the aim date for the next fight, right?
It is.
That is the date.
That is the date. We are set in stone.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We're set in stone February 21st. Location, any other details that we can share yet? Or are we going to wait for a future
It's going
episode?
to be Panama City Beach. It's going to be here at home.
All right.
We're targeting two different venues. I think we're going to be at the Crew Building.
Okay.
So that's probably going to be where we settle at. And should be a great card from what JD tells me, and I'm seeing from all the coaches. We've got a whole lot of fighters and coaches that won on this card. So I think it's going to be a big one. So it'll be a fun one. I think going from November to February, people are going to be itching to be back at the fights and see some action. So I think it'll be good. Then in the end of the year awards, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who voted, all the fans.
Yeah.
I think the online version of it allowed a lot of the fans to interact with it. They don't always align with the real awards, but I think it's just great that we're giving people credit where credit's due. We're seeing who the fans support and things like that. And, give people what they deserve, and it gives the fighters something to work for, to see where they were on the rankings, how they compare to the other people. Um, I think it's kind of cool. I'm a stats guy myself too,
Yeah.
so I love the whole stats thing, breaking it down for the teams and things like that. So I think it's just an overall cool thing.
And I think that it gives an opportunity for the coaches. They sit here and they listen to this episode. It's like, all right, how can we get more fights at Impact Fight League next year?
Yep.
So excited for that. Excited for the fighters working towards things, and really just excited to get it started in February and see where it all goes. Excited to be a part of it for the whole year. And JD, any thoughts here?
Do you want to say anything about like what happens next year, like with the end of the year, or you want to leave that for now?
Well, I mean, we can give a little preface, see if it's gonna take effect. One thing we're looking to do is the point system that we put in place, possibly do a Grand Prix. So
Hmm.
where teams can get points throughout the season or the year, and total them points up, and see who's going to win at the end of the year for a prize.
Okay.
I'm kind of waiting to see how many teams we're going to put into the group, because just like to be considered for team of the year,
You
you had
got
to
to
have
fight
eight.
as
Yeah,
yeah.
have to have so many fights. So we're looking at putting that in place, and that'll give the different gyms a lot of motivation to put more of their guys on the impact cards and fill up the fights better. Fans get to see more fights. Fighters get more active. Everybody wins.
For someone who's, let's say they're listening to this, or they've been to an event and they want to get into the ring, what would be the best route for someone, or the someone who watches Saturday night, they watch UFC and they're like, oh, I could get in there and do that, which you can't, but whatever. What would you what direction would you push them in?
This
Would you?
happens all the time.
Yeah.
After the event's over, we get phone
Exactly.
calls, messages, things like that. Like, how do I fight?
Yeah.
Uh, in reality, a lot of those don't pan out, but the process to do so would be they reach out to us, we refer them where they live, try to get them into a gym.
Yeah.
First thing is get into a gym and get training. Make sure that you're actually ready to get in that
Please do
cage.
that part so that you can hopefully save your brain.
And then, they get into a gym, and then JD keeps lines of communication open with them, and eventually they get on a card. So it's really easy.
So, what Panama City celebrity wants to be wants to be a guinea pig next year? No, but if you'd like to get involved, hit Rob or JD up, and then also always look for sponsors and all of that good stuff. So please hit up Rob or JD if you have any. If you want to get your brand out there, I mean, this is the year to do it with Impact Fight League. I really do think that this is going to be going to even. I mean, every year it builds. I think it's gonna go another tier up this year, my man.
One other thing we're adding this year is we're going to be getting into the BJJ and wrestling tournaments as well.
Okay.
So a lot of the youth competitors here, some of them get on our cards. We
Mhm.
have some of the youth things in the prelims of our cards, but I don't think that there's enough spots on one of our MMA cards to satisfy to basically satisfy the demand of how many kids here want to compete.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at getting into the BJJ tournaments and wrestling tournaments, and possibly a combo event where we have all three on the same night
Oh,
or same day.
the trifecta.
Uh, we're working on that. There's a lot of moving parts that go into it, but we're targeting a potentially a June date where during the daytime we'll have a BJJ tournament and a wrestling tournament running simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that, we'll have a cage set up where some of those people could get in the cage and have their super fights. And then if that ends at maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, then we shift them from one room to the other room at one of our new venues, and then they have the fights that night. So
Let's go.
your team could come down here from out of town. You could bring down some of the youth competitors, their parents, come down and support the MMA fighters out of that gym.
Mm-hmm.
Kids compete during the day, parents have a good time. That night, you also get into the MMA event and you can support the fighters out of your gym.
And that's how you do it, man. Behind the beat down.
Yep.
There you
Appreciate
go. Hey, so JD, anything else? Oh, I
I'm
thought
good.
you were raising your
Oh
hand.
no, just
Well, so that was very fun. Again, thanks to all the voters, thanks to all the fighters, thanks to all the teams, all the coaches, and a special thanks to all the listeners. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure to get out there with us February 21st. More details to come on all of that. For JD Muzinski, Rob Moriarty, I'm David Hayes, and this was another episode of Behind the Beatdown. Remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I.